What is up, gamers? So, I wanted to make this a world first tier 4 Crescent video, but I got some news late in the stream that just completely shell-shocked me and stun-locked me into, confusion. And so, I got to talk about it. Apparently, we're getting a second mid-month. And I was on record saying there's no effing way we're getting a second mid-month because they have to hurry up. We're in April and we're on 10.8. It's actually 10.8.5, but or maybe 10.8.1, right? But we're supposed to be on 10.9 because at the end of April, it should be version 11 for the 10-year anniversary. Like, that's just how version numbers work when it comes to anniversaries. But it seems now like one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to skip version 9, version 10.9, which I think is kind of dumb, but I'm not a developer, so maybe there's precedence for that. Maybe they can skip versions if they want to. They can do whatever they want. And they are going to release the 11th year, the 11.0 update on the 10-year anniversary in like June. Mind you, the actual anniversary date is April 30th or May 1st, right? So May 1st is the official start of the 11th year of Marvel Future Fighter, the celebration of 10 years. And it looks like the update to celebrate that is going to land either late May, basically a month later, or sometime in June, more than a month later. I'm no mathematician, but being a month late on the update for the anniversary, when it's the anniversary update, is kind of strange. So what else am I talking about here? Well, we got news from the data miners that there's going to be most likely a second mid-month, and it's Electra tier 4. Okay, we'll get into Electra tier 4. That's a whole other can of worms here. And this is the haymaker of Whiplash after they undercooked Daredevil, kind of undercooked Punisher, barely cooked Kingpin. Now they cooked Crescent, but they undercooked, Ancient One. So we're going for six tier 4s in a row. 6 tier 4s in a row. Without a single tier 3, by the way. And most of them, the majority of them, are mid. Or, like, not even close to meta. And unfortunately, it seems like Electra's going to join that, right? So if we look at Electra, the problem is that she's already been kind of decided as a character in some way because of her artifact. Her artifact is the same as Psylocke's. I know my camera's blocking it. I apologize. It gives the chance to increase crit damage. So this is, for most players, they would think this is a PvE artifact. Right? This buffs your damage by a great deal, but because it provides no defensive layers, no immortality, no revive, no heal, etc., no HP, no dodge, then this is probably for things like World Boss and GBR and ABX and ABL. And like other characters that have this effect, like Psylocke, they're also really good for World Boss and GBR and ABX and ABL. So that should be the case for Electra, right? Well, if we look at Electra's kit, on the uniform side, at least for her last uniform, this doesn't mean that the next uniform will be the same thing, but they gave her 4th skill iframe ignore with super guard break. You can see the little icon there, super guard break. And then they also gave her super guard break on her 2nd skill that also has iframe ignore and counter attack. So what if I told you there was a character with no defensive layers whatsoever? 0 defensive layers. They also belong to the most, the weakest class, the weakest typing by base stats. The class with the lowest base HP and the lowest base defense. They have 0 defensive layers. No immortality, no giga dodge. And they're supposed to be for PvP. You would think I'm kind of crazy or stupid, right? Hey, well, welcome to MFF devs. And then you go and you're like, okay, right, but she's in the Defenders team-up collection, right, Alex? Well, funny you should ask. Funny you should say that, because she's not. So I really want to know what the developers are smoking with this one. I'm kind of skeptical, because although Electra makes sense in the very broad, kind of vague sense as far as being, you know, connected to Daredevil, for all other intents and purposes, for all other design choices, game choices, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. Not part of the Defenders Team Up collection. Second mid-month, when we need to desperately ramp into the anniversary, and already in an oversaturated class where we've seen multiple tier 4s for this year. Look at this. In the speed category, we've gotten multiple tier 4s this year already, right? Hawkeye, Bullseye, Daredevil, Nick Fury. And we've also seen re-ups recently for existing tier 4s getting reworked uniforms. 2 for Captain America Falcon, 1 for Spider-Man, 1 for Black Widow. It's just absolutely, like, not to mention Gamora. Just insanely oversaturated right now with speed characters. The only thing worse than doing another speed tier 4 would probably be another combat tier 4 after Crescent and Kingpin and Punisher and Winter Soldier, and you sort of get where this is going. So it's just kind of crazy, man. It's just kind of, I'm just so shell shocked. I wanted to talk about Crescent because I think Crescent's pretty cool, pretty fun to play, pretty like nice looking animations, like, you know, looks cool, whatever. But this is jaw dropping. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, and I don't want to use the word hell. And if you look, I know this is kind of poorly designed. Shout out to Oscar here, but he posted this already, and I thought, you know what, I might as well just use his instead of doing my own here. So we have the April 2nd. This is the mid-month we're doing right now for April Fools, right? Then we're going to wait 2 more weeks to get on the 16th of April, right? Fully 2 weeks until the anniversary, we're going to get Electra. Then that means the next update, presumably 10.9, I don't know, is on the last day of April, which is technically the anniversary. We're a full update cycle behind. Then that puts the mid-month at the 14th, and then, I don't know, maybe another mid-month on the 28th. So it puts us, you know, at the end of, like I said, at the earliest at the end of May, or possibly middle of June for the end of April anniversary. Now, in saying this, to play devil's advocate, and like the most generous interpretation I can take of this is perhaps they want to do something really, really big. Okay, if I'm being like super generous, and taking kind of like the most benefit of the doubt, trust the devs, they know what they're doing, okay? If I take that stance, then here's what I think is going to happen. They are going to do the regular login event leading up to the anniversary with, you know, like today you get 200 black antimatter, tomorrow you get 2 million gold, the next day you get 200 TCP, and everyone, myself included, is going to bitch and moan, being like, oh my god, same old login event, are you kidding me, copy and paste, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, boys, this is the anniversary to end all anniversaries. It's 10 years. Oh my god. 10 is bigger than 9. And then they do like a part 2. And then they do like another month. So it's like back-to-back months of login events, like for the anniversary, like the never-ending anniversary. And then they do like a whole month here during May to distract us during this 10.9 update of even more login stuff. And then this stuff is like actually juicy. It's like whatever, 50 Carbo, 50 Life Seed, you know, like a new icon. Whoa. Something like that, right? And then boom, the anniversary update drops like late May, and they're like, guys, this is what we planned all along. I have no, like, in saying this, I know it kind of sounds dumb, but the whole thing sounds dumb, right? Releasing multiple characters, Kingpin, White Tiger, and now Electra, who don't even belong in the new Team Up collection that bears a striking resemblance in name to where they ought to belong. Ask yourself, where the hell is Electra's Team Up collection? If it's not Defenders, where is it? Are they going to release Heroes for Hire Team Up collection? Like the level of overlap is going to be insane, right? New York Avengers? Like, what are we talking about here? Women of Marvel? Like, I don't know, dude. I just like female characters who have dressed up as their male counterparts team up collection. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It seems like there's no real cohesive message right now for updates. This is what it feels like. There hasn't been a cohesive message since the symbiote update, and that's really bad. And it's the worst. Guess what? It's also the I've said it a billion effing times, but it's also the worst time to just have a complete and total collapse of message and story when it comes to your game when you're going into the 10-year anniversary. But what do I know? What do I know? I'm just a guy behind a camera, right? I'm just an idiot. So yeah, Electra tier 4, I guess, for what it's worth. Listen, people who are excited for Electra, I'm happy for you. I hope she's really good. I hope she breaks the meta. That would be the best case scenario. But I just don't, more than Electra, what I'm worried about right now is just the update schedule and how we're going to get to the anniversary in a manner that actually makes sense. Because otherwise it's going to be like awkward and weird, and people are going to be like, why are we doing the anniversary in June? I thought the anniversary for the game was in May, and it's like, well, it is in May. It's actually in April, but because of this and this and that, and also, guys, isn't this like the 5th double mid-month update in a row? When we're only supposed to have 3 all year, we're doing 5 this year, or 6. Yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta be honest with you. I remember the days when there were no mid-months. I'm not saying that I long for those days, but I also don't want what we're getting now. I don't want every update to be double mid-month. Bro, having just Electra tier 4 for 2 weeks, off the back of having Nick Fury tier 4 for 2 weeks alone, is like dragging your balls through glass. It's just not fun. And who at Netmarble plays this game and actually has fun with these updates? I want to meet you. I want to interview you, because I don't believe you exist. Who at Netmarble is telling the managers, man, just give me one mid character for 2 whole weeks, and that'll be so much fun. Crazy. Anyways, boys, reviews coming soon, but as you can probably guess, Crescent is, meta for one thing, and Ancient One is a skip. That's kind of the summary there. I'll have obviously more detailed takes on that, but for those of you that just really need the answer right now, that's more or less where I think my answer is going to end up landing. Anyways, boys, thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content. Electra tier 4, I guess. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.